Disclaimer time. No audio, video, ill intent, or anything was used in the making of this video. Plus, this video is for mature audiences only and should not be viewed by as such, and it is opinion. Please respect said opinion. Well, guys, I think I would take a week off from all the E3 excitement and let the hurricane die down to a tropical storm. Until Microsoft turned it back into an E grade 2 by announcing the removal of DRM. What does that mean for you, gamers? Well, it means no more 24-hour check-ins, used games are a go, trading used games is a go. Unfortunately, we don't get that cool gold sharing plan now. And game installs will kind of work like the 360, and you'll be able to play offline. Everybody on the internet community is happy about this, except me. You see, I was one of the proponents of used game DRM. Not as a negative guy, but as a positive guy. Seeing that I hate the used game market. I despise the used game market with a fiber and a passion of 1,000 suns. Kind of like how I dislike Princess Celestia for not doing anything. You see, all this really aids is GameStop, a company whose deplorable business practices need to be stopped now. On top of this, the proverbial status quo will no doubt continue as gamers will buy largely used copies of games to avoid actually spending money again this generation. You see, I'm one for publishers getting their dime bags. Yes, I know they make enough money, but if you look at the cost of what it takes to develop these games, the prices are going astronomically high. A viewpoint also shared by one Cliffy B. That's right, that Cliffy B. The maker and creator of Gears of War practically hates the fact that publishers are getting robbed of their cash. But the one thing that annoys me more than any of this is the fact that Microsoft backed down like a bunch of pussies. Yes, it's a big win for the internet. See what happens when you all hate something collectively and want it changed? Sometimes the video game industry will actually decide to listen to you and give you what you want if you yell, yell far and loud enough. However, this this makes me feel a little uneasy about Microsoft itself. Why? Because if they're willing to change their viewpoint so quickly within a week of E3, who's to say they won't flip the script years, months, or even weeks down the line again? Not like they're mine. What I do behind closed doors start wildfires. What I do behind closed doors is my business. Granted, what the Xbox One did was good for its business. Pre-order sales are up, especially at the Evil Empire. They've run out of pre-order sales at GameStop. Ironically, still putting up PS4 pre-orders, which I find rather strange. Combine that Combine that with the more interesting first-party exclusives like Titanfall for the third party, but most importantly, Carporn 5.0, Forza Motorsport 5, and the newly remastered, revitalized, and free-to-play Killer Instinct, and you've already got my money firmly in Microsoft's camp, and that was even before the flip-flop. You see, what makes me mad about this is the video games industry's inability to stick to their guns. Sure, the internet has a big, loud, booming voice that sometimes, like this time, was applied correctly in hopes of helping out consumers that are looking to save a buck. But before you go pray, praising the gods almighty and looking to down me a few pegs, pay attention to this. With Microsoft backing down on their policy, what you've essentially done is delayed the inevitable. 10 years from now, when I'm about in my 40s and the next video game generation begins, the subject of used game DRM and whether it should exist will once again be brought to the forefront of the argument. Unfortunately, this time, there won't be an option B or an option C or a go back. At this at this point in time period, there will be no going back, and used games will be a dead medium. But ask yourself this: how many developers will actually be around to see this time of finally the publishers get their profit? Think about this. Over 30 independent and even a few major developers died in the last generation, most notably THQ. Other major developers like Capcom and Square Enix are on the financial ropes just trying to get by. And with the Wii U disaster, we don't even know if Nintendo won't slip into financial trouble, seeing that nobody will buy their less than even current gen machine. What the Xbox One seemingly did yesterday, and Microsoft did, was seemingly put Nintendo out of its sad misery with a shotgun blast in this generation, and pretty much doomed us to once again, 10 years later, have the argument of whether used games should exist. Sometimes it's better to take the tattoo needle in your arm and suffer the pain of rubbing alcohol being burnt into your skin, so you don't have to suffer it that bad years later when you get your second tattoo or branding. That's essentially what you guys have done. You guys have won the battle, but you forget this is a console war. Now the console war is dead even, at least this one. But make no mistake, the war on used games and the war that publishers are raging to try to get their money that they deserve is far from over. Unfortunately for us gamers, we will end up the victim, whether we end up with it now or whether we end up with it later. I'd rather have it been now. At least within a decade, it would have become the new soul-crushing status quo, and we can all dream about having our used games back and never getting them. Instead of having them now and then having them stripped. Congratulations, Microsoft haters. You've won. And most certainly, the Xbox One will no doubt in the long term win this generation. And that's not just because I'm an Xbox owner. It's because it's the darn solid truth. But make no mistake, it will be a bloodbath that Sony might be able to get a roll-up pin and actually win this generation because of its early momentum. But they better come out with some good first-party games first if they plan to change the momentum now. But what this says about used games is we're not ready to give them up, even though technology is telling us it's the smart move. I'm Lion59. This is CodeEquestria. Live life by the code.